Hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, sir, entrepreneur. Welcome to IFYL Inspirations for Your Life. If you are new, just grab your smartphone, launch your camera app, and just take it and point over to that QR code at the right hand part of the screen. Once you do that, you'll see a yellow oval. Touch the yellow oval, and in a couple seconds, you'll be greeted with this my Linktree main page. Of course, there's a button on there to help keep our content free, which we always appreciate those that want to buy us a cup of coffee or a sandwich to keep our operations running. John's Daily National Day video, JCM Academy TikTok, John C. Morley's recent articles, John C. Morley's serial entrepreneur page, IFYL, John the Science Guy, and there's so much more stuff there that you definitely want to check that out. So I want to thank you guys, first of all, for checking into the channel. And we start on a Saturday, guys, and we roll all the way through the week, and we end up on a Friday using a master topic. But each day we get a little bit more granular with different subtopics about the master topic. If you're coming back and you've been with me for so long, welcome back, my friends, colleagues, and wonderful associates. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you taking the time. And, we're going to be celebrating a big milestone next month. It's going to be IFYL's birthday. We're going to be turning 1 year old. So I'm really excited for that. We're going to have a cake. Yes, it's going to be a lot of fun. And so IFYL actually was born from the concept of just wanting to improve people's lives just a little bit more. Give them the inspiration, give them the tools they need to implement right now and make a change if they so desire. All right, we're going to get right into the master topic. I know you guys are waiting for that master topic. Everybody ready for it? So our master topic, ladies and gentlemen, is how to create balance. Balance. So balance is something that we need in life. But what else needs balance? Well, I'll tell you. Our tires need balance. A lot of things in life we're going to find out need balance. So why is tire balancing so important? That's a great question. People often get confused with wheel alignment and tire balancing. It's important to know that best performance from a vehicle and for gaining the longest service life from the tires is important to have wheel alignment, but also tire balancing. So tire balancing provides a smooth ride and assures even tire wear by properly adjusting the tire weight distribution around the vehicle. Hey, we're talking more about distribution, aren't we? You see a pattern here? So that means our cars that are a few ton, they actually need to be balanced. If they're not, they can cause our tires to wear out. So tire balancing is a specific type of tire maintenance that balances the weight of the tire and the wheel, ensuring that they work together seamlessly for a smooth, safe ride. And so what happens if you don't balance your tires? Well, even just a quarter of an ounce of an imbalance could put even pressure that would be uneven pressure, I should say, on the treads. And so causing that uneven tread pressure will cause excessive heat and will shorten the life of your tires. So tire balancing will also strain the wheel bearings and the suspension system. So you get the point that when life is in balance, things just sort of go better. How often should you balance your tires? About every 7,000 miles. That's approximate. Most manufacturers recommend that all four tires should be rotated and balanced about every 7,000 miles. So a great way to keep up with this recommendation is to have your tires rotated and balanced every other time you have your oil changed. Pretty simple, isn't it? So you might be saying to me, John, when did we discover? I think that's probably the question. When did we discover that we had to balance our tires? When? Well, I think when people started to see what happened, tire balancing seemed like such a minor thing. And so, even though it seemed minor, people didn't realize how much damage it was causing their car through normal wear and tear. So, how is balancing done? Well, tires are typically balanced after they're mounted on the wheel. And most tire shops have a computerized system that will basically spin the tire and balance it. And the tire goes on the machine and spins at highway speeds. And the computer reads where the tire is unbalanced and indicates where weight should be placed on the wheel. The technician places thin metal pieces on the rim to counterbalance heavy spots. Then the technician spins the wheel again to ensure it has a proper balance. So you might say, John, why are tires out of balance? Well, when they're manufactured, they're not always in balance. Other things that can happen with out of balance tires: strange vibrations. Sudden appearance of vibrations is one sign that your tires don't have correct balance. And vibrations might be noticeable in your steering wheel when you reach moderate speeds. And these vibrations just get worse as you tend to drive a little bit faster. Of course, you're going to notice unusual tread wear. When a tire is not balanced properly, you're going to see patchy flat areas in the tire's tread after time, and they'll wear. And as these patches often appear, and they have no consistency in size or shape. If you don't pay attention to them, then your tires could end up with lost treads. Even worse, also affect the strength and integrity of the sidewalls of your tires, and thus you could risk a blowout, which could be a serious safety problem for you and your loved ones. So tire balancing is something that's important. It's also going to give you good gas mileage, better gas mileage, I should say. And so we talked about when you should balance your tires. The how, the next people would say to me, John, is how much does it cost to balance tires? Well, most tire shops offer free balancing as part of a tire package when you purchase this from them, but you'll have to pay around roughly $15 to $75, depending on your vehicle, the tires, and the shop. So when we talk about balancing 4 tires, I'm saying $15 to $75 per tire. So on the low end of your car, if you're following me here on the math, you're basically going to set yourself back about $60 plus tax. On the higher end of the tire balancing cost, you're going to set yourself back about $300. So tire balancing is another area in life where we have to have balance. Okay. And so most people feel that they can operate out of balance, but when they operate out of balance, they're going to find that the car doesn't go right. It doesn't flow properly. Why? Things in life are meant to operate in balance and not out of balance. Okay. When we think about tire balancing, okay, it is a very precise science. And if the tires are not properly balanced, then, like I said, you could have safety defects that could surface down the road. But it's interesting because 16 ounces is a pound, if anyone didn't know that. But the interesting other part is that you dismount the tire from the wheel and you put it on the balancer. So the balancer will stop and it will shine a laser beam where it wants us to add the weight to the wheel. And the lightest section of the wheel, and what most people have found is that this position was not 180 degrees from the valve stem. And so the heaviest section of the wheel. So the information can be used to mark the wheel at its heaviest portion and then line up the yellow dot on the tire to the lightest portion of the tire to find a natural balance point. That's pretty cool. So tire balancing has come a long way. I mean, we didn't used to balance tires, with a computer. So you might say to me, John, how did we balance tires before computers? And I think we first have to go back to 1945. So tire balancing came around by Marcellus Merrill at the Merrill Engineering Laboratories at 2390 South Tejon Street in Englewood, Colorado. And he's now recorded on the list of the IEEE milestones in electronic engineering and as an American Society of Mechanical Engineers landmark. So again, balancing is pretty interesting. But when we think about tire balancing and how this works, before Merle's invention, all wheel balancing for automobiles, trucks, and other types of vehicles required the removal of the wheel from the vehicle, and most required some form of static balancing without wheel rotation. Merle's invention balanced wheels while still mounted to the vehicle by spinning them at high speeds and electrically analyzing the vibrations to trigger a stroboscope, and technicians could then determine where balancing weights could be added. So that is pretty cool because they used to have to take the tires off the vehicle to balance them. And you might be saying to me, John, this sounds crazy, but hey, it is done for our safety, right? And contrary to popular belief, all wheel balancing is not the same. When tires and wheels were of relatively same sizes and masses, it didn't matter how much. But now, like everything else, things change and everything has to have a specification. So again, wheel balancing is not the same. Static and couple correction is used to be done at the rim edges with clip weights on the majority of wheels. Now, most wheels are no longer using clip weights exclusively. So now the era of adhesive wheel weight balancing is in play. In the 1980s, the assembly line wheel balancing and garage tire balancing evolved from static correction to a combined static and couple correction, thus providing better high-speed ride quality. And it worked much better. But the thing that you're probably wondering is, how did all this come to be? And I think the biggest reason that it came to be is that they had to find a way, because this was wasting so much time. And so, when we think about how balancing actually works, right? And so a little bit about dynamic wheel balancing, because I think that's probably what's important. So as vehicle applications proliferated, tires became heavier and larger in diameter, and the dual correction weight locations moved away from the rim flanges and became narrower. And this caused some issues, as you probably could imagine. So we had the static force shake, and now we had the couple force wobble. The couple force wobble was a lot different than the static force shake, again, in the dynamic wheel balancing. So industrial wheel balancing automated the balancing process in production lots to fit specific OEM applications. Weights were applied inside the wheel instead of at the rim edges with the clip weight, as we said before. Now, today, tire construction is a lot more uniform, and along with the alloy rim quality, has become a lot better at reducing dynamic wheel wobble. As a result, large amounts of counter correction for about 180 degrees, equal weight separated by the equal distance, are now not necessary anymore. Vehicles are also more sensitive. Static correction, fine-tuning balancing has become much more important to address this issue. Now, unlike the pre-programmed industrial balancers, shop balancing had to evolve in a more flexible manner. As wheels changed, most garage balancers began to fall short in performance, and most still do not operate as efficiently as possible. Often used for clip-on weights, industrial tire balancing calculations came from balancing standard ISO 21940, and they used the external rim flange planes, which were placed far away from each other. Now, on high car speeds and also off-car wheel balancers, which came later, they quickly allowed service centers to balance a wide range of vehicles. So high-quality shop balancing, OE software, was also used to do the same balancing standard for the ISO 21940. Even if the correction weights are not used at the fourthmost edge of the rim, flanges and adhesive weights are used inside the rim. So this methodology, adopted by car manufacturers, saved time and eliminated the use of expensive couple correction counterweighting. Normally, wheels are considered balanced when the residual unbalance is less than the specified tolerance, approximately a quarter ounce per plane on the approximate 15-inch diameter rim. On-car high speed and also off-car wheel balancing came later and quickly allowed service centers to balance a wide range of vehicles in a lot shorter amount of time and with greater accuracy. Older software shop balancing designs have not followed this guideline in force measurement limits and calculations. So this caused more problems, excessive counterweight application issues, more cost, and of course, less efficiency. So when dynamically balanced, the traditional shop balances within the limitations of software may not compensate properly for the static residual force. And the residual imbalance may be hidden when less than 0.58 ounces or 0.29 ounces of the plane, according to TireReview.com. And this assumption is made with a fixed round-off weight increment and a fixed blinding function always present higher than the round-off to prevent weight chasing. And it works as an independent of the chosen weight correction positions and the rim dimensions and overall wheel mass. So the rim manufacturers made a clear distinction of correction planes internal to the rim in the case of the adhesive weights, and they don't correspond to the reference plane for the evaluation of the residual unbalance, which are identified with the external planes of the wheel. So the drop in balance of performance was related to the need to move correction weights inboard from the rim flange, which called for excessive amounts of counterweight correction and check spins. And also heavier, larger diameter wheels and wide outboard decorative flange designs left little space to apply the two correction weight positions and achieve the same balance. The correct way to determine the couple force limit will be to use the rim edge flange as the correction weight calculation and determine the couple force limit based on the correcting form of the area instead of the two areas inside the wheel. So these excessive and pretty much unsightly counteracting balance weights are incorrectly applied in a lot of cases. So it was clear that a heavier wheel should be balanced differently. And as an example, a 30-pound wheel may vibrate with less than about half an ounce of static imbalance, but a truck wheel that weighs 170 pounds may not cause a vibration if the wheel is out of balance by 8 ounces. Interesting. In the early 1990s, to improve the dynamic balancing quality changes in the garage balancing, dynamic wheel balancing algorithms, they now had adopted and changed them from industrial balancing methods. And garage balancing algorithms introduced in the 1990s were able to easily compensate for each force, static and couple, separately. Correcting couple balancing force limits individually, preventing excessive counterbalancing weights when weights were placed inboard of the rim flanges. Now, static force limits could be minimized to lower than the incremental correction weight as a result of shifting to balance correction weight locations in their phase angles to prioritize the static force elimination over couple force. And also, balancing correction could shift from two weight locations to a new single weight location to perform a dynamic two-plane balance more efficient with a single weight. So industrial balancing software patents such as Bridgestone's patent EPO 509-507B1 are now being used in leading aftermarket garage balancers to keep up with the best balancing practices to increase efficiency and improve ride quality. All balancers today do not provide the same quality and are not as efficient at the balancing capabilities when it comes to sensitive vehicle balancing. Hidden weight alloy wheels and very wide, heavy on or off-road applications can make this a little challenging. A garage wheel balancer has a challenge to address, and that is the daunting task of wide range of wheels that vary greatly in mass, diameter, and the correction weight locations for positioning. Outdated balancing software algorithms are easily written and can perform poorly, so it's important that the garage maintain service updates and a subscription, or their balancing may not be as good as a few years ago. They can display data digitally. They can calculate the actual acceptable unbalance, eliminate residual static unbalance from the hidden check spin, residual errors, save both time and excessive use of wasted counterweights. And they can shift to a dynamic balance, shifting single weight, new correction position, saving over 40% labor time and over 70% of wheels being balanced easier. So all wheel balancers, as we said, are not the same, and they do not all balance with the same results. Most shop wheel balancers are not up to date, and this is the reason for why they don't properly balance. So we can see that another important thing in our life in balance is wheels on our car. So everything in life has to be balanced. Are you balanced? We'll talk more about other types of balancing tomorrow, which, by the way, is Thursday. And happy early Thanksgiving to everyone. And we will have something great to share with you. And then, of course, on Friday, we'll wrap everything up. I hope you guys have a very happy, healthy, and safe, wonderful, relaxing Thanksgiving. And I invite you to unplug from technology tomorrow when you're at dinner with your family and plug in with them and start making connections that you didn't have before, or make the ones you have just slightly better. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Remember to like, love, and support the channel. Definitely comment below. Tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media. And then be sure, ladies and gentlemen, to go over to my YouTube channel, John Space C Space Morley Space Serial Entrepreneur, and look for that key phrase to help keep our content free. And make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, to buy my team and I a cup of coffee, a refreshing beverage, or perhaps a tasty, delicious dessert. Either way, we'll be grateful for those pennies and dollars. We'll invest them into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping motivational content to empower you to change your life. Have yourself a great rest of your night.